I trade the same setup every single day, and that's exactly why I'm profitable. If you're consistently searching for the next best strategy, this video will save you months or even years of frustration. When people first discover trading, they think success comes from finding the perfect setup. I thought the same thing. I would watch one YouTube video and completely change my strategy. I would see someone else making money with something else and switch again. A week later, I'd find another concept, another entry type, another high win rate strategy. I wasn't learning to trade, I was collecting strategies, and there's a huge difference. Today, I trade the same setup, day after day, week after week, not because it's the only strategy that works, but because I know it in and out. I know what a good setup looks like, I know what a bad setup looks like, I know when to stay out of the markets, and I know that not every trade will win. That's confidence, and confidence comes from repetition, not prediction. Here's something most traders never realize. Your biggest edge isn't your strategy, it's your ability to execute that strategy consistently. Anyone can write rules on paper, but very few people can follow them for 100 trades in a row. There is a quote by Bruce Lee that perfectly sums this up. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. That's exactly how I look at trading. Most traders are consistently learning new setups, new indicators, new concepts, new entry techniques. But mastery doesn't come from doing thousands of different things at once. It comes from doing that one thing very well. When you trade the same setup repeatedly, you start to see things most people miss. You recognize the difference between a great trade and an average one. You understand when conditions are right and when they're not. You stop forcing opportunities. You stop guessing. And over time, that repetition turns into skill. Not because the setup changed, because you did. The goal isn't to become someone who knows every strategy. The goal is to become someone who executes one strategy very well. That's what I'm trying to do every single day. Let me show you exactly what this looks like in practice, because it's one thing to talk about repetition and discipline, and it's another thing to see it on a real trade. So let's jump into the charts and let me break down a setup that I took using the exact same process I've been talking about throughout all my videos. Okay, here's a trade example that I took on GBPUSD. I'm just going to show you a screenshot of when I actually took the trade. So this was taken on the 22nd of May this year, and this is where I entered from. So I'll show you exactly why I entered into this trade. And if we go back into FX replay, so you can see this is on the 22nd of May, which is a Friday. So this is exactly what I saw when I opened my charts. So I could see that price had created this impulsive move to the upside, and it had broke structure at this point here. Let me just mark that out. So we can see that's our break of structure. And then back down here, we can see that we swept this liquidity here. So here's our liquidity sweep. And within this move that broke structure, we could see that we had fair value gaps. We had one here, we had another one here, and we had this big one here. I won't mark them out because I just want to keep the charts clean. However, since we've got our three confluences, which is break of structure, liquidity sweep, and fair value gaps, we can now mark out our order block. In a bullish scenario, it will be the last down candle before that impulsive move. So this is it here. I'll just mark that out as our order block. And then the last confluence we want to see is if the order block is in the extreme zone. And we do this by drawing the fib from the bottom to the top of the range. And we will be just highlighting the 75% of the range, which is where we want to see our order block in. And this perfectly lines up with our order block. So what I then do is I enter off that 75% of the fib, put my stop loss at the bottom of the range, and my take profit at the top, which gives me a consistent risk to reward of 3R. Since I'm on FX replay, I'm just going to add this trade. So I'm risking 1,000 to make 3,000 back. I think on my initial trade, I was actually risking 2,000 because I was still in the challenge phase. So in the challenge phase, I actually put my risk up, because challenge phase, you're not getting paid. So you'd rather get that one done as quick as possible. So let me just save that there, and let me play price forward. Okay, as you can see, we've been tapped in at this point, and straight away price rejected. It didn't close within that area, and then we started going up. Okay, I just wanted to stop here just to explain what's happened. You can see that price actually gave us this move here, and it gave us a 2R, basically was left with 1R for it to take us out of the trade. However, price came back to our entry. What I just want to point out is a lot of people, when they get to, let's say, a certain point of the trade, when it's in profit, they move their stop loss to break even. This is a nice example to show you how moving your stop loss to break even would have taken you out of the trade. But let's play price forward, and you'll see that price would have actually been in your favor. But because you put your stop at break even, you took yourself out of the trade and lost out on a very good opportunity, which is why I always set and forget. Let's play price forward and see. Tapped in again and rejected. And there we go. That's our TP hit. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this video, is trade one strategy until you know it like the back of your hand. If you look through my videos, you will see I've been trading the same strategy for years. If anything, I've simplified it, and since then I've been profitable. Thank you for watching this video. And if you like this type of content, make sure you subscribe, as I'll be dropping a lot more. And also like and comment on this video. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.